So this is Baruch here at the Tikkun Elevator Kolo, and it's really time for the Tikunei Zohar, but I wanted to just give you an idea of what this is. Something that was the drawing itself made by my granddaughter, and I really think she got the ideas that I wanted to say as best that she could. If we look at this a little bit closely, you see here's the idea. Let me see if I can get this down there without it falling over. See down at the bottom, the Kolel starts with an elevator door. The idea is the elevator is planted in the earth. That's where we start. To move through stages. So you see that there's different kinds of ways to looking at this, but the main light is depicted by this line in the middle, right here, which is supposed to be, let's say, the light of the Ein Sof Baruch Hu, metaphorically only. And the idea is to get into this middle line. There's a right line, there's a left line, and there's a middle. The idea is to get control in the middle to be able to rise. That's the whole idea of the elevator. It's really the Lashon of Yesod. So as you get up towards the top, then you finally work your way into Etzilus, the oneness of Etzilus. And we're trying at the Kolel here is to get everybody into the idea of learning Zohar every day and getting in touch with the hidden aspects of our lives. The Rav, the Rebbe Shimon, really quite a psychologist. And if you look at this and you understand what's going on with it, you can go a long way. So let's come over here and let's look at the Tikunei Zohar. Let me open it up and see where we're at. So back again. Here we are in the Tikunei Zohar. We're going to read here across the top. It says, "Ve'ilun inan nishmasim me'ilan maskilin de'is bahon seichel ve'ishtamoda barazin de'baregu." Very simple is that he's speaking over here to the Chaverim. The Chaverim have the ability, just like Rebbe Shimon is their teacher, to find their way into the stream of eternity. That's basically what he's calling. He says there is these Chaverim are called maskilin. This Lashon mind. He said that able to know Barazin de'baregu. And then he went into some deeper details here, and he says, "Kulku Rishimin the Mitsuyara," who went through some of these ideas, what they meant. The Malchusa the Rakia Kakochabaya the Nahara Barakia. So he said it's like the Malchus of the heaven, the kingdom of the heaven, Kakochabaya, which is like the stars, the Nahara Barakia that shine in the Rakia. And we said, what is Rakia over here? It refers to the Yesod of the Nukva. It's like gestation with tremendous kedusha. Behind the Yazkiru Bezora, so that is to say that it'll shine like the radiance, the glowing radiance of the heavens. Heavens here once again is Yesod, because Yesod is full of life. My Rakia. So what does it mean when it talks about the Rakia? The Naharim Bay, that they shine in it. What's in it? Nishmasin the Maskilin. The Neshamos. I'm really supposed to be up here. Nishmasig the Maskilin Kukochabaya Barakia, just once again like the stars in the heaven, sparking. Hori Naharan Bakarsia. So all Bakarsia. This is how they shine into the throne. There's a lot of symbolism there. These are the words of Rebbe Shimon, and we're coming around really to get closer to where we needed to be. Now let me get this lined up properly. Everything is a little bit offline here. Let me see if I get this right. So let's look at this phrase here. But Machusa the Rakia, he said there is the kingdom of the Rakia. What does he mean, the Machusa the Rakia? But now what he means, he turns around and he says, actually, it doesn't read like I translated it. It reads like the Rakia that's in the Malchus, which refers to the Yesod of Malchus. Be Yesoda shal Malchus, he says. Now, we looked at that before. The Atzilus, the Fi Shemakum Ibor shal Neshamos Elu, because this is what he says, is that the conception, or what is it, the gestation of the Neshamos, he says, of the Tzaddikim, who Sham is over there, where? In the Yesod of the Nukva. Be Yesod shal Malchus. The fichoch hem shavim v'olam sham tavid. So therefore, they're going backwards, going upwards, back to their source again. Tamid b'sod man, the secret of man. Now, what is it that he says that the neshamas and tzaddikim are constantly going back between this world? Think of the drawing of the Tikunei elevator kolo, which is what we want to be doing, and then coming back and bringing the shefa back down. So it's mayim nukvin. Now that's where we're at right now with number ches. And let's go down below and see if we can get number ches under control and learn it. I'm going to bring it a little bit more closer. So he says, whoa, watch that. Whoa, oh, that's too far forward. Let me try it now. Okay, hope it doesn't tip over. I got it backward. He said, number chesisi. Anything that comes from a higher place. So let's say for like the different dimension. The dimension that is called the consciousness and the awareness of the fact that Hashem is in everything. So you call the makaro, it's able to go back to its root, like a boomerang or a rubber band. Because all of this is according to the Kisei Melech. So Kisei Melech is the name of a sefer. So that idea of the concept of the rebound kind of idea. So he says, who Metzayin v'zel l'shona. So this is what he's pointing out here. He says, Avrakia shuhu yisod the malchus, right? We said it several times. The naharim bein nishmas and the maskilim, and that is where you find the neshamas of the maskilim shining. The yalder baraz and the barehun, that they know about the secrets of their masters. She'olin b'cha b'sod man, that are constantly going upwards. Man is from the bottom to the top concept. That's the Tikunei elevator kolo. He said of V'shom mekablim, what is this word? Ha'ara, umazharim. There they get a glowing radiance on themselves, and then they radiate themselves. So we see like this, that they are going up in Mayim Nukvin, L'Ora Yichud Elyon. What's the purpose of it? What are you offering in your prayer? What are you doing in your prayers that you need? Is in order to cause a Yichud Elyon to hind those Tzadikim Haladucha B'Chaim Hama'orah them as Yehudim, Shel Zav Malchus. This is what happens. They arouse their Anpin and Malchus into Yichud. This is what our prayers do. So he says Kutra Barichu. So he says there Anpin Malchus. Then he says Kutra Barichu. Then he says along. We're going to see this later. Episode HaTorah Matzdiki Rabim, where we're going to talk about the concept of Matzdiki Rabim. Who are those Matzdiki Rabim, or is Matzdiki Rabim? Is it a verb or is it a noun? So Mora al Shatzadikim Elu Gormin. So he says it's a verb. They bring tzedakah to the rabbin because it shows al shadzadikim elu, these tzadikim gormen ki yechudim el yoinim. They're aware of what they're trying to accomplish and they're accomplishing it. You can see that in the Eitz Chaim. Also tzadikim and nimshachem that the tzadikim that are stream down, I read it wrong. Also, Shatzadikim Hanim Shalim that their Zadikim are characterized as sprouts. Hamiz Gadlim Begina Shihira Malchus, which grow in the garden, which is Malchus, and they are able to cause the yichud to take place because of their prayers, even in this time of the Hurban. Just like you say, if a tzaddik is able to elevate his neshama in the secret of Mayim Nukvin b'malchus, into malchus, so the tzaddik was standing in our world. Kain yesh mishi ala nishmasa besod mad. So there's also people who are able to elevate their neshamas in the seek of mayim duchrin. That is a more male aspect, which is the giving aspect. So one is the beseeching aspect, that's the mayim nukvin, going from the bottom to the top. But then there's also a top to the bottom. Ki achar ha'churban she'ein zivug, because after the churban, where there's no zivug, vein haganem zoreya ginaso, and the gardener is not planting the seeds. Ranki naso tzomechas min asvichim. But what happens is that so therefore it has to be from the leftovers, from the little sprouts. You know, like you plow a field, you get rid of everything, it's gone, but there's still seed in the ground, and the next spring the seed will grow, and so that's when there's a chiddush in the spring. So Ginasa that the garden Samechas min asvichim grows from the svichim, it grows by itself. Asher yatzach come out from there. In Misham Choseru v'Samechas, and therefore that's where they came from originally. They were cut down and destroyed, but they're still there and they're growing again. I think it's the case of the Jewish people in general. So the Svichim are what? What are these speaking? These sprouts. These are the Neshama Tzadikim. That grow out from the garden. Malchus, which is Malchus. And they come back. They go all the way up. Let's bring our drawing of the. I don't want to be too proud of this drawing, but they go all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. That's called Mayim Nukvin. Going from the bottom to the top. And up there, they're going to be able to communicate. What else we got here? And then there's Mayim Duchrin. It starts coming back down with more and more lavush until it reaches back down to the platform of the elevator door down below, which is really the yesod going into Malchus, which represents the earth. So that was a metaphor over there that was created in that drawing. And let's see if we can finish up now. So when the Sibra came to Shamatz and Tzadikim, Vishat V'Yatzer Machagina, these are things that grew by themselves in the garden El Yoda B'Malchus, of Malchus. V'chem Chosrin La'alos Sham B'Sod Man, and they go back and they grow there again in the secret of Man, or Mad, or they're the agents of bringing the Shefa back down to us. B'Zecha B'Sod Or Zerua the Tzadik, and this is the secret of the scattered seed, or the planted seed, for the tzaddik, because it is said the language over there, or Zerua the tzaddik, he says this is something that was already planted, mikara, from the beginning. In other words, it has a root. Now, I may actually have to be a little gardener, like to do that. There are some plants that no matter what you do and how many times you take them out, and you completely remove them, and you throw them away, but somehow they start growing again. You don't have to plant it again. It grows by itself. That's the idea over here. Now, let's see if there's a little bit more that we could do. So after number ches, which is way up here, so we're going to move along. So in that place, they receive a tremendous amount of this radiance, and they start to radiate. Like stars that shine in the heaven. Again, Zakiya, once again, is a lashon of the yesod of Malchus. Hame'irim berikia. Behind the dichsiv al osa maskilim shehem, because we're talking about those maskilim, those people that are able to do this. Yaskira kazover rakia, they're going to shine like the radiance of the heaven. The mafarj my rakia. So what does it mean when it says rakia? Madua Amashahem Yaskira Gazo Rakia below Karikia. Why does it say like they're from the glowing radiance of the Rakia, but doesn't say like they're from the Rakia? So let's look at it again what he says. He said Yaskira Kazohar Rakia. They be like the Zohar of Rakia. And they explain my Rakia. What does he mean when he says Rakia, which we said once again, it's the Malchus is the Yesod of Malchus. Madua Omer Shehem Yazkira Ka Zohar Hakia. They shine like the glowing radiance of the Rakia, the Loka Rakia. They don't say it shines like the radiance, I like the kinds like the radiance of it. Now, every time the Zohar, in my mind, every time that the Kabbalah is used like something, or like it, they're removing it from its most, they're wrapping it, they're closing it. Zohar Atzma Raka Zohar Hu Shel HaKochanim, because of the Rekia, there is no Ein Zohar Atzmi. That's what I was saying. It doesn't. Its essence is not shining. Rak HaZohar Hu Shel HaKochanim HaMe'irim B'Rekia, but it comes from a secondary light. It comes from the light of this of the Kochavim that are shining inside of this Yisod of Malchus. The Vicha of Ein Neshamas and Digging them Shachos the Etzim Rekia. So let's say like this: they don't come from the outer essence of the Rekia. That is the Rekia itself. Ella, but rather Hakavana de Naharin Be, that rather they're shining inside of the Rekia. Now, I don't know which is higher, which is lower. Next time we'll look at this. And then we'll finish up like this. Number test is what we're going to look at next time. There's also Yud Aleph. Okay, we'll look at it next time. Nishmasim and Maskilim. So now we're talking about the Neshamas of the Tzadikim. Shenishmosech and Meiros, that their Neshamos, their Penimius, are radiating like a Kochavaya B'Rekia, Kochavaya B'Rekia, like the stars in the heavens, Ka'osim Kochavim Ha'Me'irin B'Rekia. So they're very similar to that. He wants to say that there's a Penimis Dika light that is shining in the heavens. What we see is the outside part of it. But the inside part is Ruchni. This is Baruch Fleischman, Tikkun Elevator Kola. Thank you.